Well, Jack, I hope you're having a great time tonight. I want you to know I got all dressed up for you tonight, but sorry I couldn't make it. I hope you could see that right there. Anyways, once again, sorry I couldn't make it to your, what is it, number 25 of your going away parties now. You're probably worn out by now, I bet. But anyways, I just wanted to say, thank you for all the years you've put in with us. I mean, I don't know what else I could say to you that I haven't already said, or most of the people have already said to you. But you're a great guy to work with. We'll miss you. And I hope retirement goes okay. So have a great one and hope to see you again soon, someplace around, maybe on the golf course and stuff like that. Well, I suppose I should be able to come up with a little bit more than that since you've worked with us for that long, right? So I got to say, I've told you this before. When I first started, I called you in this, I'm pretty sure, that I remember you didn't really like me too much. And I remember you saying, well, that's because you're probably one of these, cocky city guys, big city guys who's probably just going to stay for a year and leave like usual. But obviously, not all of that was correct. And I stuck it out. And I got to say, the one time I remember that you said to me, hey, you're the new guy. We're doing all bread and butter stuff. And, sure enough, I was trained pretty well to do bread and butter cardiac surgery. You said to me, hey, you're the new guy. Why don't you do something different? When are you going to start doing some off-pump surgery or something like that? I remember ignoring you the first time, and I said, hey, I didn't really train how to do that, so I don't know. And then you brought it up a couple more times, and, I think eventually I took you up on that, and we went with it and did some other things, as you know. So I got to credit you for getting started and, thinking outside the box in some ways. And, the rest of it is history, as you know. We're doing fancy stuff now. And thanks for all your help with all that stuff. A few weeks ago, somebody emailed me about saying a few things about you for your retirement. They were going to do an article in Bridges, I think. That's our local hospital weekly bulletin. But, I didn't hear back, so I don't know if they're going to publish it, or they probably asked some administrator, that's assigned for stuff like this, I bet. After all, I only worked with you for 15 years closely, so who knows. But in case they didn't, I have it here, pulled it up on my phone. I just want to read this because I wouldn't remember it off the top of my head. So here goes. Mr. Callies is one of the nicest, most genuine people you could ever meet. It may come as no surprise that he was one of the most hardworking, caring, competent, and well-liked PAs that I've ever worked with. In the 15 years that I've known and worked with him, I can't think of a single time that I've heard complaints about him as a PA or as a person. He will be missed not only for these attributes, but for being an invaluable member of the cardiothoracic surgery team here at Gunderson. After working in this field for over 40 years and having to adapt to surgeons of varied capabilities and temperament over these years, I think he deserves a break. We all wish him nothing but the best in the next chapter of his life. So there you have it. That's what I said for Bridges. I don't know if it made it, but there you have it. So anyway, that's what I wanted to say to you. And actually, I do have a couple more things. So enough of the mushy stuff. I've got a few slides. And this is entitled A Tribute to Jack, in pictures, etc. So hope you're not squirming too much. I don't know what the mood of the party is. I don't know if it's a little bit of a roast or any of that. I know you've got some family members and things, but it'll be all right. Don't squirm too much. Here goes. So, and I have to apologize to some of the people that are in the audience. You don't see yourselves in the pictures. There's a lot of pictures here that I'm in it. It's from my phone. It's my camera. Sorry. This was 2010 PGA. We had a group of guys, went up there to go to the tournament. But before the tournament, we did a little fishing trip on Lake Michigan with Captain Scott, I think. And there's the man showing that trophy salmon. The boys had a great time that evening. It was a successful trip. These are all the memories, the things we'll remember about you, Jack. That was our catch right there. It was a good day out on the river. There's Chef Jack in the kitchen. Little known fact, but this guy is a fisherman. He came well prepared. He had freezer bags and paper and all that stuff. Look at all the fillets and fish laying around. But more importantly, look at the bottle that's sitting there in front of him. It's too bad it's turned the other way, but there's a story there. I don't know if Terry Barnes is in the audience tonight, but you could ask him what the story is. Jack will know. And we're still trying to figure out what the heck the name of that was. I think Jack's brother, Jim, might be there tonight as well. And Jim was the one that gave that to him. And it was a precious bottle, apparently. And I think, let's just say there wasn't much left at the end of the evening. And we're still trying to figure out what it is. So maybe, Jim, you could tell us what that is. There's Jack teaching some of the younger kids how to do it. I got to tell you, to this day, that was still one of the best fish dinners that I had. You know, fresh out of the lake, caught by the guys, prepared by the guys, you know, cooked by the guys, and just all devoured right there. So we actually did go to the PGA as well. That was 2010. That was the year Dustin Johnson grounded his club. I know it doesn't seem like that long ago, 8 years ago. Here we are going in. There's Jack posing with his umbrella. The clubhouse at Whistling Straits, watching some good putting, trying to get a few pointers. The umbrellas came in handy that day. Jack and Corey. It's a pretty long course to walk. You need a little rest here and there, as you can see. This fast forwards to 7 years later. Actually, I'm missing, there was another PGA there in 2015. It might be a little mixed up here, but this is the Erin Hills U.S. Open last year. Different crew. And we're back to Kohler. You can see a nice Lake Michigan in the background. Awesome golf course. And there's Jack. A little rest. It's another long course to walk. There's the crew at Erin Hills last year. There's Jack walking the walk. Pretty nice picture right there. And then there's the annual golf trip in the Dells. Well, how can I depict this whole thing in pictures? But I'll show you a couple. After long, hard days on the golf course, golfing, drinking, it's hard to believe, but the guys will gather back up at the place and drink some more. And then there's some singing that will break out usually with the guitars and everybody singing, clapping hands. That's actually what happens after golfing all day, believe it or not. There's also a little bit of room for a good steak and Cuban cigars, as you can see. Here's a crew from a different year, different crew. I wish we could zoom in on Jack there with the t-shirt. There's a little competition we have sometimes with little gag gifts and things. That was an awesome t-shirt, and he really liked it, but I think when he got home, Ellen didn't care for it too much is what I'd heard, so that shirt may no longer be, but it was good. Yeah, we do golf a little bit. There's the man on the range. You can't practice enough, right? And why not? You got to stop for a selfie, especially if there's a nice rainbow in the background. This was actually from last year. Jack had an awesome shot in a par 3. This was at Wild Rock. I'm sure he'll remember this one. It was a good birdie. You know, every now and then he'll pull one of these out. Unless you put money in the hole, then everything falls apart. As some of you in the room probably know, at Forest Hills, there's a money hole where, you know, farthest from the pin buys the beer. So Jack, being the glass half empty kind of guy that he is, you know, he'll start taking our orders right before we walk up to the tee box, before we even hit the shot. He tells me that his buddies from years past have termed that hole Jackson's hole. So, you know, we always hear this story every time we approach that hole. And then here's something that actually happened out on the course one time. Take a look at this. So, okay, I have to admit that was not actually us on the clip, but something like this did happen on the course. I tell you, I mean, you know, out in that course, it gives a whole new meaning to Jackson's Hole. It's one of those things you just can't unsee. if you know what I mean. All right. So I can't talk about Jack and his work with us without, mentioning the good little group that he worked with, the 4 PAs, him being the fourth. Now he's gone. But, frequently on rounds, this group will remind me of another foursome, this group. And I know you know exactly what we're talking about. Anybody who's worked with us or made rounds with us will know exactly what I'm talking about when these references will come up. For example, there is this one, the vault.
I'll tell you, but you can't say anything to him.
I'm not saying anything. I'm putting it in the vault. I'm locking the vault. It's a vault!
Oh, you have to say something.
I can't. I told Kramer I was vaulting it.
You gotta open the vault.
Open my vault?
Open your vault.
Once I open the vault, it ceases to be a vault.
You have no choice.
Oy, the vault.
As some of you may know, Jack, over the years, has become known as the Vault. You could pretty much tell this guy anything, and your secret is safe. Not. So we'll move on. We'll leave that one at that. Here, over the years, I'd walk into the PA's office, and frequently you'll find Jack, given his vast years of experience, imparting some of his knowledge onto the younger guys. Let's take a look.
You know about the cup sizes and all? They have different cups.
Yeah, I know about the cups.
You got the A, B, the C, the D. That's the biggest.
I know the D is the biggest. I based my whole life on knowing that the D is the biggest.
Yeah, so frequently, that's actually exactly how it goes down. Matter of factly, Jack will just impart some of his knowledge, and as you could see, he knows a lot of stuff. Okay, now, as you know, there's one female amongst the group, and it's nice to have that, diversity. And so every now and then, say in arguments, for example, Kelly's called upon to either settle an argument or lend some female perspective, as in this clip.
Women aren't like us.
They're worse. They're much worse than us. They talk about everything. Couldn't you at least tell her about the shrinkage factor?
No, I'm not going to tell her about your shrinkage. Besides, I think women know about shrinkage.
How do women know about shrinkage?
Isn't it common knowledge?
Oh. Elaine! Do women know about shrinkage?
What do you mean, like laundry?
No.
Like when a man goes swimming afterwards?
It shrinks?
Like a frightened turtle.
Why does it shrink?
It just does.
I don't know how you guys walk around with those things.
So, in any event, I don't want to take up much more of your time, but Jack, I hope you're having a great time tonight. And again, sorry I couldn't be there. I hope this was fun for you. And, I'm sure, as in this next clip, by one of your favorite characters, he probably says it best. What most of us are thinking, and certainly what I'm thinking. And I also want to say, in case I made you squirm or, offended you a little bit tonight, take a look at this. I'll end with this one.
I take it all back! Everything, I take